To an intro this morning because, as you notice, we are on Restream in an effort to be on kick.com. I'm trying to make sure that give me just a second. Uh, I got to make sure that this is set up properly. And the last time it was not. So, streaming. It says it's streaming. I want to make sure that we're all streaming. If somebody can go over to kick.com and make sure that they see the streaming. It is showing streaming. DL Clark, good morning. Nice to see you. Let me just go over here and say, is the stream live? Once we know that it's live, okay, you see me. Perfect. So we're streaming on kick.com. That went a lot better than yesterday. I just wanted to make sure that we could see it on this side. So good morning, everybody. Happy Easter, by the way. Happy Easter to all that celebrate Easter. That's in my chat and other. So it's great as we're going to be filling in. I'm going to just talk a little bit before we start on our day because we've got a new case that we're going over, and I want people to pay attention to this particular case because it is a good case. It's already leaning in one direction, and we're going to discuss why it's leaning in that direction, and then we're going to dovetail over to the Trent Lair Camp case. Many of you guys know we're going to go to Georgia to cover the Lair Camp case. And there's, that case is much different, but there's a lot of stuff going on in that community in Glenn County that is causing a lot of emotional issues and making people relive something else that happened not too far in the distant, past. And so they're upset because they feel like it's getting to the point in Glenn County where, in order to get justice for victims, they're having to rally the community and force law enforcement to do their job. This is not the first case that they've had to rally the troops and protest and, hold their officials in that community accountable for their actions and lack of transparency in cases. One involving a murder of a Black man out there that was deemed a hate crime that law enforcement wasn't going to do anything about. It literally took a really long time, even though they had all the evidence in their hand. It's a lot. That's why the community's upset, is because there's a lot of these same similarities from that past crime, which they ended up forcing law enforcement to make an arrest, and the people that they had arrested not only were found guilty, but they were also found guilty of a hate crime as well. That, the community felt in all respects, law enforcement was trying to cover up due to whom had committed these heinous acts. And now we're learning that these teenagers that were associated with Trent's case, come from well-to-do families. At least some of them. At least some of them do. And we're looking into those cases. We're looking into one of the boys that has been identified. I have made, fortunately for Glenn County, they do have record requests online. So I've shot off several, I think 4 or 5 different types of record requests, not related specifically to the case at hand, but just giving me an overall view of what was transpiring in and around the time that Trent was found unconscious and had to be dropped off at the hospital. Now, mind you, the children at the hospital that dropped him off provided their name and contact information to medical personnel there. So law enforcement knows exactly who was involved in this case. They know exactly who the players are. It's been long enough that they should have, because trust me, law enforcement does great things in matters of 48 hours. We always hear that 48 hours number, right? We always hear it. Because within the first 48 hours, they typically know what happened. That's why that number is touted so much across law enforcement. That first 48 hours. They even made a show about the first 48 hours. So don't tell me that these law enforcement officers have no clue what happened or no evidence to charge a kid. Now, granted, we're fine that, just like with Leilani, another Georgia case, she was charged with one crime. The state attorney picked it up and added like 19 more charges. So we're fine with law enforcement just picking them up on a charge, putting the community at ease by saying, hey, we are working on this. And if the investigation turns out that there's more charges that can be added later, clearly there's a path to do that because we've seen it in the Leilani Simon case, which is another Georgia case. And the last time I looked, a Georgia case and a Georgia case should be following the same state law. Call me stupid. Good morning, Miss Robin. Nice to see you. By the way, if you guys did not see the community post this morning, I was sitting in here doing intense studying and the doorbell rings. I'm looking at my clock and I'm thinking, who the hell comes over to this house at 6 o'clock in the morning? Somebody that knows Bullhorn Betty's going to be up. So I see this guy, this tall guy, down petting the cat because the neighbor's cats just love Bullhorn Betty. Apparently nobody loves Bullhorn Betty, but a bunch of it's Easter. I better stop. So he's down there. So I'm looking at him. I'm like, oh, he's like, hey, he's got this bright, hey. I'm like, hey, how are you? He's like, oh, I'm doing great. Cute cats. I'm like, awesome. So what are you doing here so early? He said, I'm just dropping off a package. I said, oh, I looked down. I said, okay, good. I said, I was just asking. I said, I didn't order it. I said, it must have came from a fan. And it did. It came from a fan. I don't want to, Susan, that's the name on it. Thank you. God bless you for giving Bullhorn Betty her Dunkin' coffee fix. Not just one, guys. Not just one. So you know that whoever did this beautiful thing. Oh, you know me and the bacon, right? Bacon. I'm telling you, bacon. Hash browns. This is all that's left of the food, guys. Like, there's nothing. I enjoyed my breakfast. I'm like, the first thing I looked at, I was like, I smell bacon. I smell bacon. So the bacon was the first thing that went. I have to be honest with you. The bacon was the first thing that went this morning. But what a surprise. What a surprise. That just melted my heart. You know what? When I got that and I realized it was from a fan, I'm like, you know what? Out of all the hate, this is what this made my day. This made my day. I was on somebody's mind. I know I was on a lot of your minds, but just that it was a surprise. And many people love happy surprises. We don't like the bad ones, right? Like the surprise, you owe $1,000 to fix your car, right? We don't like those. We don't like the surprise. It's going to be $14,000 to put you a new roof on. But we do like the surprise. I got bacon and donuts. You got it. And then a side of coffee. What? Yes. So thank goodness I didn't pop that door open and say, what the F are you doing here this time? Right? But we know that this person must watch Bullhorn Betty a lot because one, she knows I'm up before the crack of dawn. She knows exactly what makes me tick. Coffee, bacon, and donuts, man. Talk about a perfect combination. Easter morning, right? And you guys know from yesterday, I said, I'm not going to come live. And I'm like, I've been doing all this research. Might as well share what I've learned, right? With my audience this wonderful Easter morning. Might as well share with my audience what I've learned. And this case here is really sad. The one on the photo, it's the picture of Maddi Kingsbury. She's 26 years old. She's a mom of two young children, by the way, mom of two young children. Now, this Adam Frazel, whatever he goes by, I haven't heard his name said publicly, so I'm a little, but it's Fravel. I think it's Fravel. Looks like gravel, but Fravel. Farvel. Yeah. So I think it's Fravel. So Adam Fravel. It doesn't appear that they're married. I'm a little confused as to whether they're married or not. I've done a record search for Minnesota for the community. I don't see a marriage certificate. I'll say that. That doesn't mean that they're not married because they have two different last names. Because I was legally, lawfully married. Florida is not you can go on a mountain and say I do when you're married. Florida is you gotta, you know, fill out an application. You got to get a marriage license. You got to have a marriage license notarized. Then you get your certificate of marriage. I mean, it's a process, right? It's a long process. And I wish they'd make it more difficult. They make it easy to get married. They make it more difficult to get a divorce. And I just think it just needs to be just the opposite. If you make it more difficult to get married, you probably won't have so many of those difficult divorces. You should have a compatibility test before you're allowed to get a marriage license. But God bless all those men and women out there that have been married 30, 40 years, and longer. I've got my friends, they're like that. Like my best friend, she was married to her late husband for 30, 40 some odd years. They've been together forever. Like since before she was an adult, they were together. They've never known each other but each other. I mean, just one of them. So, anyways, it doesn't, we can't tell if it's the boyfriend, if it's the husband, but obviously, definitely the father of the two young children. So it sounds like they all live in the house. Again, don't know what the legal, whether they're married, single, and boyfriend, girlfriend, ex-husband, ex-boyfriend. We don't know. Even the news outlets don't know. They brought that up. Like, is this a boyfriend? Is it a husband? Is it an ex-boyfriend? Is it an ex-husband? And so the confusion with that, and I guess it really doesn't make much of a difference, but it would for us because it would help us determine whether there's no divorce petitions or anything in court either. So, but it still makes you wonder, was this person living in the home or was this person just staying over? What was the family dynamic there? And so that's a little clouded, but there's this community called Winona, Minnesota, and she went missing on March 31st, 2023. They believe law enforcement has now publicly said that she is missing under suspicious circumstances. She was a well-to-do clinical researcher or something with the Mayo Clinic in that area. She has a wealth of knowledge and education behind her, and so does her husband. But her husband or boyfriend, Adam, we'll call him Adam because I don't know if it's a husband or boyfriend. I want to be factual. Her apparent significant other. I don't know any other way to describe him factually than that. This, apparent person. I'm sorry, my brain is going blank. Adam, we'll just call him Adam. It's going to be easier for me than try to remember. But Adam was with her, apparently, according to law enforcement, when she dropped her young children off at the daycare. Now, here's the kicker. In another article, it said the father dropped off the kids at daycare. Was she in the car? Did he physically take those children in? Did she physically take those children in? That information has not been released. Anything related to that would be speculation, and we may speculate on that at a different time. But just for factual purposes only, let's just go through the facts, and then we can kind of try to piece this together. So they just recently had on Friday, today's Sunday, on Friday, an amazing 2,000 wonderfully gracious volunteers showed up for this massive search. 2,000 volunteers. That's huge. When we had JJ Rollins, we had about 1,000, maybe a little under 1,000 volunteers out there looking for that boy. This beautiful soul had 2,000 wonderful, gracious searchers. Every piece of ground they could possibly walk looking for her. And that ground search, they did say, covered a massive amount of land, which helped relieve that search effort off law enforcement. So all those beautiful volunteers that chose to go up and out there for this woman that most likely you never even had an opportunity to meet. Bless you. God bless you for that. Thank you for doing a wonderful act of kindness for a perfect stranger. Good morning, Mav. I see you in the house. Good morning, everybody. I don't think I went down through the list and just said hi to everybody like I normally do. It's kind of funny when I'm on a new system and things are kind of like I'm used to, going in through the intro and everything like that, and doing our lives in a certain way. But for the purposes of this and the fact that we're trying to build a new platform on a different website to see how well it works. That's why I'm not really willing to I'm using the free software to run this live on their free. It's very limited. You don't have all the bells and whistles like I do on my paid side for StreamYard. But if Kick's not working out, or I really don't like the platform, then it's going to be something that we will, just keep our channel growing over there. But I don't know if I would invest in a more expensive streaming program but if it does work out and we are doing well over there, then yes, I'll probably be converting all of StreamYard and we will just be using Restream moving forward. And I'll buy the actual professional version so we can remove their logo and put Bullhorn Betty logo on there. So if people are saying, why does it look so weird? Why are things a little different than what we're used to? What are you doing? Right? It's because I'm trying to build a different platform and I have to use a different streaming software to build that platform. So all those that are over there on Kick University or Universe, it's nice to see you. I'm really happy that you guys are here. It's very interesting. I appreciate all the beautiful viewers that are helping over on kick.com right now build those viewer watch hours. You guys are amazing. And for the family over here on YouTube, if you really want to help, after this live ends, maybe just pop it up on the TV in the bedroom or while you're cooking and rewatch and help build those watch times and watch hours up over at kick.com. And that would really help boost that, so we can really put it to the test and see the ability that kick.com does have. And maybe we will actually do some live only on kick.com just to help, grow that channel, just like we're going to be doing some true crime stories, the serial killers and stuff on True Crime Stories with Betty. I'm really excited about that. I know it's going to be a massive amount of work. Like my list of things that I've got to do is getting longer and longer and longer. But we're going to get through them because they are the goals we have set for this year. And, we try to have the metrics, and if things need to be adjusted, they need to be adjusted. But our goal is to have a lot of this stuff that we have on our sheet is to be completed by the end of the year. So we've got a lot of work. We got a lot of work, and we hope we hit it out of the park just like we did last year. And I believe in all of us, and I believe that we can. But anyways, the massive amount of volunteers turned up nothing. It was very sad, but it cleared a lot of areas. So, a lot of people say, what, you didn't find anything? People don't realize it's not about necessarily finding something. Yes, you want to find the person and you want to find them healthy and alive and be able to get them home safely. I mean, that's the goal for anybody that's going out there to help search, period. That's what they're doing. They're taking their own time to help someone else, most likely people that they don't even know, just in an effort to feel good that they did something to help somebody else other than themselves. So it's a beautiful thing. But they did what they were able to do is clear a massive amount of ground that now law enforcement doesn't have to search. Do you know how much of a help that is? That help is invaluable to law enforcement. So if you're ever in a community and they ask for volunteers, go out and help. If you support your law enforcement, you will be a part of those searches because it's helping your law enforcement. It's helping take that burden off of them and their police officers and to focus that on other areas that may lead to a good lead. So I'm absolutely proud of all the volunteers that went out there. Without you, that entire huge body of land would have taken law enforcement probably 10 times as long to search because they don't have 2,000 bodies to put out there. Those volunteers were amazing. So good kudos to you. So what is being said is originally it was the children were dropped off at school at the preschool at around 8:15 and at their daycare. It was according to the husband or according to Adam, it was both Adam and Maddie that dropped the kids off. However, other reports came out after this saying that he actually dropped the kids off a little before 8, where the caravan, the town and country minivan rather, was arriving back at their residence at 8:15 as opposed to them being at the daycare at 8:15. I don't know if that's going to play into the details of this case or not, but that is one of the notable time differences that I saw from one report to another. It also states that Adam left the residence around 10 a.m. in Maddie's dark blue minivan, and he was gone from the residence from 10:30 a.m. to approximately 1:30 a.m. It's hazy here because we don't know the schedule of either Maddie or Adam. How was Maddie going to get to work that day? Obviously, they dropped the kids off. Did she work from home or did she work at Mayo Clinic? If she worked at Mayo Clinic, and she wasn't going to go in that day, why did they send the kids to daycare if she was going to be home? So I'm a little sketchy on those details because I do believe that information does matter and goes to the heart of this case. And I'm pretty sure that maybe law enforcement may already be apprised of the answer to this, but I'm unsure. Somebody stated that they had seen a dark blue minivan near at a nearby county road that resembles the minivan he was driving. Now, granted, this is a dark blue town and country, Chrysler Town and Country. It's a 2014. Many people have these minivans. These are a common vehicle we all see on the road. So is this nearby county road sighting? Is this his van or another van that looks like the minivan that he was driving? We're unsure at this point. Again, the minivan he was driving was a dark blue 2014 Town and Country. The inside the home, when he arrived home, he said that's when he noticed that his wife wasn't there. So to me, it sounds like she was supposed to be there all day. And again, it goes into why were the kids dropped off at daycare if mom was going to be home all day. So I do have a question with that, because I know that when parents, especially moms and dads, at least for me growing up, and you guys know, my childhood wasn't perfect. But even with me growing up, if my mom or father was going to be home for a day, I didn't go to daycare. I didn't go to daycare. So it makes me wonder, would they, if she was not supposed to go to work, and it seems like it was the work that realized that she never showed up. So it does sound like she was supposed to go to work. So then it comes back to him taking her minivan. If he took her minivan, how was she supposed to get to work? Did she have his vehicle? And if she had his vehicle, what type of vehicle was that? Because this is not being very clear to me. And maybe it's not clear for a purpose. Maybe this is details that they're keeping out of the public light. But when they did check the house, they found her keys, phone, and wallet at the home. And her jacket. Apparently, she'd left without a jacket. And so when they brought the jacket into this, it made me feel like maybe this area is a little cold this time of year, and she would never have left the home without a jacket. Her sister Megan texted with her that morning. So upon history of the victim, to try to get a victimology, it is very. Oh, thank you, Sean. God bless you. And I could show this. Can I show this on here? Oh, look at that. I can. Awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, Love Bug. I appreciate it. God bless you and happy Easter. God bless you and happy Easter. Sorry, it sounds stupid, but I'm literally just coming up here for the first time, just doing this restream for the first time. So I don't know where everything is or how to show this or how to show that. It's a little weird. But this woman was really, really smart. So she had the clinical research professional designation at Mayo Clinic. That was the last designation I could see in her history. I pulled public record search, I pulled a background search, and then I did search their Winona city and county and stuff like that. I checked the records. Actually, I checked the records for the entire state of Minnesota to see if there was any kind of history of anything. Maybe they had lived in a different area or anything like that before. So she had carried a lot of different positions over the last few years. And some of those positions were the clinical research professional, the clinical research coordinator, the RBI associated specialist, all for Mayo Clinic. Doing a background check of her and Adam, it did identify about 7 RSOs. Oh, thank you, Mab. Happy Easter to you as well. I need to go over. Oh, sorry. Hold on. I'm hitting the wrong one. Hold on a second. Hold on. I hit the wrong one. There we go. Mab, God bless you. Happy Easter. It's nice to see you. I'll see you on the island, Betty. You got it. I can't wait. Sissy 2448. Nice to see you. Thank you. God bless you and happy Easter to you as well. I appreciate it. Thank you guys. You guys are so sweet and awesome. Well, I really truly believe that we have some of the best viewers here. Of course, it's like, it's almost like parents, right? We all believe we have the cutest kids, but we do, right? And so I'm not saying that all these other channels don't have beautiful members and subscribers that, well, I just like mine. Okay. I think mine are absolutely the best. God bless you guys. You guys make my day. You really do. So her sister texted her that morning. She had all these things. And then RSOs, if people don't know what an RSO, it's a registered S offender. So it's somebody that's had problems with deviance, the S kind of deviance, that we frown upon here in this country and across the globe. They also said the van was possibly seen on County Road 12 and Highway 43. So I looked all these things up, and we're gonna look at the map here in just a little bit to give a holistic view of the area and so you guys can get a lay of the land of where all this took place. His history is he does do my realty ads, which is he's listed as an agency owner. 5-Star Media, he's listed as the CEO. He did some lab support with Winona State Information Tech Services. He's got a bachelor's in science and management information system, and he went to Mabel Canton High School. The husband told police he drove his wife's minivan the day she disappeared. In a report, it states that the father drops off the daughter 5 and the son 2 at daycare shortly after 8 a.m. About 8:15, the van returns home, but she didn't show up at work. Father says he left home at around 10 a.m. So again, like I said, you would think 10 a.m. that's a little late for people to be leaving home to go to work, especially if you're in the medical field. Many hospitals and research labs open anywhere from 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning. Some are 24 hours a day. It just really depends. So this is causing a lot of, heartburn in the, obviously her family is very concerned. It shows. I'll tell you what I'm reading and why I'm going to go into the position I'm going to go into. But first, I'm going to go ahead and bring up this video. I want you guys to watch it. It's going to kind of probably go over a lot of the same stuff that I just expressed on here. Where is it? Oh, it's this way. So we'll play that now so you guys can watch it.
This morning, the desperate search to find a missing Minnesota mom of 2 who disappeared 8 days ago.
Please help us find Madeline. Children need their mother.
Winona police officials say 26-year-old Madeline Maddi Kingsbury's disappearance is suspicious, and they are worried for her safety.
Our department and our law enforcement partners are working relentlessly to find Maddi and determine the circumstances surrounding her disappearance.
Nearly 2,000 volunteers showed up on Friday to help police conduct a massive ground search. Officials pleading with residents to search their properties for signs of the 26-year-old.
Walk your acreage, check your outbuildings, check your vehicles, walk trails, check your cameras for any indications of anything suspicious.
According to police, Maddi was last seen at home last Friday at approximately 8:15 in the morning after dropping her two children off with their father at daycare. The father told police he left Maddi's house at about 10 a.m. in her dark blue Chrysler minivan. When he returned later that day, he says she was not home. A minivan resembling hers was seen that same morning driving along a nearby county road between 10:30 a.m. and 1:30 p.m. Investigators have searched the minivan and Maddi's home. Inside the house, they found her phone and her wallet.
I just was trying not to panic.
Maddi's sister Megan last texted her that morning, and everything seemed fine. The family now offering a $50,000 reward for information on her whereabouts.
We love her and we could figure out anything and get through anything together. And we want her back. And we're not going to stop.
Watch breaking news on YouTube.
There you go,
Subscribe to
guys. That
ABC7
is kind of the update for for that. I wanted you guys to see her. I wanted you to hear her sister, the pleas that they're having for the public to come forward with any information. I think it's good. Oh, hey Ricky, it's nice to see you. Nice to see you. I didn't see you in here. I just saw you. Happy Easter, my friend. Happy Easter, and happy Easter to all those that are just coming in this wonderful morning. I expect it to be low a little bit because people are getting ready to go to church, meet with family, getting stuff ready for either their brunch or their dinner. And we just want to wish everybody a wonderful holiday, those that practice Easter and understand what Easter is truly about. God bless you. So you're talking about a woman here, and this is the few things that I'm going to express, and we're going to go over a couple more things. I've got a number of tabs open that I wanted to go over with you. Oh, thank you, Jennifer L. God bless you. Happy Easter to you too, love. There we go. It's weird because I expected to pop that stuff to pop back up in the captions once, like the other one does. Once we show something or remove it, those come back up, but I got to keep going over there and pulling them back up. But I just want everybody to know who we're talking about. But getting back to some of the statements that law enforcement has said. So they're saying that this is suspicious. They're saying that the husband, and they're confirming that the kids were dropped off at daycare. One article is saying that she dropped him off with her husband. The other article is saying that dad dropped him off and the car was reported back. My question is, was she in the car? Who physically took those children inside to check them into the daycare? Was it the father or was it the mother? If it was the mother, at least we have at least somebody other than the husband that has seen the wife have, okay, Maddi. So if she actually went physically in, and I can't imagine a mom, and she was a doting mom. She loved her children. I went through profiles. I saw photos. I've read comments from families and friends, prior comments, not stuff recently, since her disappearance, stuff that were commented on way back when. And it seems like she had a very good relationship with her family. She definitely loved and adored her son and daughter. So you would think that if mom was in the car, mom would have taken them in. Okay, dad's driving the car, mom's in the passenger seat, kids are in the back seat, secured in their car seats and whatnot. It would be reasonable to think that mom got out of the passenger seat, opened up the door, and walked the children in. Now, if dad gets out of the driver's seat, walks around and gets the kids out and takes them in, can we see mom in the front seat? Because typically when you start seeing these weird things happen the night before, after the kids were put to bed, an altercation ensued. There was a heated argument. Something happened. The next day, the father's got to act like everything's normal, drop the kids off normally. And then he's got to take his vehicle, but where is his vehicle? Again, we have issues here. right? We have issues. Why is he driving her minivan? Where's his vehicle? How did he expect her to go to work? Was she at the daycare when the kids were dropped off? I can tell you that what I'm seeing here, reading these reports, the husband is a person of interest in law enforcement's mind. The husband's a person of interest in who they're speaking about. When you read these reports of everything that they're wanting, even the areas of interest, which we're going to discuss, even the areas of interest are all places they believe this dark blue minivan was at. And who was in possession of a dark blue minivan? Adam, the father of the kids. So if they're going down the avenue of looking for this, that means they've already interviewed and looked into all the RSOs in the area. They've already done the ground search with the help of volunteers, right? Now we're hearing that this is of suspicious circumstances. So now this is moving from a traditional missing persons case into a criminal investigation. So we're right now at a criminal investigation stage. That means now that the search with all the volunteers have been concluded, they're most likely not going to be asking for community help by way of searches. Now they can't prevent people from going out there and privately searching independently, but you're not going to see, you're most likely not going to see law enforcement putting together another mass scale search unless there's some credible information leading leading to something where they think they can. But at a criminal investigation stage, they will most likely not be asking for public assistance. The searches from this point on will most likely be from law enforcement and law enforcement resources and other adjoining counties, communities that want to provide, some assistance in those cases and give them extra body or manpower, so to speak. So you're going to start seeing that coming out in this case. The reason why I'm bringing this case up is because I truly do believe that the husband is going to be the one, and it's going to be horrific. What we're going to hear is going to be horrific. And you're talking about two people that are well educated. This is kind of, this is not really our norm on here. Do we have cases where there's well-to-do people that do despicable things or have had despicable things happen to them? Of course, we've got the Tots, Family Annihilator, the Murdaughs, well-known, money, very smart people. So we do have cases, but typically the majority, those are not the majority of the cases. The majority of the cases are usually with typically uneducated people. And it's nothing, it's just statistics. It's not that, uneducated people commit more crimes. It's just that they're more susceptible to the lifestyle that would cultivate the crime. And so that they're more, I don't know how to explain it. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's just a metric that's used in statistics when they're focusing on these crimes, the level of education the people have when committing these crimes. And typically is what I'm trying to say. Statistically, it's more per people of an education. So hearing these things like the doctor in Pinellas County, killing the attorney, it's hard to hear things like that because you're talking about people that have really good educations and one a doctor that's gave an oath to save lives, not take lives, and he took one. So, and he took it intentionally. That's it's not like malpractice where he accidentally did something and it lost somebody their life, unintentionally. This is something that he intentionally did. So we're starting to see an uptick in these more professional type of crimes, of heinous and violent crimes, having an uptick in the more educated and affluent income backgrounds. So it's definitely interesting to me for this case. But what I do believe is going to happen, and it does seem, and any time that her family is asked about the children's father, they just won't comment. So there's definitely something there with the children's father. So based on all the the flags and the way I'm reading this, it looks like that they believe that, she was killed in the house. Obviously, they believe that she was killed by her husband. They believe that he took her van and most likely dumped the body or took it for an alibi for some type of purpose, and that she is no longer with us. They just don't have enough evidence yet. If they did a search warrant and did Amina Black or you know um, the luminol, then they may be able to find more blood in that house and be able to determine that she is no longer living. But it does sound she was a doting mom, so her leaving her kids behind, it would never happen. It would never, ever, ever happen. So, and she just graduated in 2019. She got this, this amazing degree, and I think it's what propelled her over at the Mayo Clinic. Uh, just a sad case. And so what we're probably going to see come out over the next week or two is this is going to end up being upgraded to a homicide investigation at some point. And with all of her stuff being left at the house, the husband being the last one to see her, the husband being the one in her car, the husband the one driving around from 10:30 to 1:30, we know that the digital forensic evidence is going to come back and kind of identify where this man went or where he was going that day. If he made any stops, the black box in our vehicles can tell when the car's in gear or when it's out of gear. Sometimes it can tell us how fast the car was going. But if there's OnStar in that vehicle, there's going to be OnStar pin locations that's going to provide the exact route he went and where he went at what time. So we're going to be getting all that, but it's not looking good for the kid's father. From what I'm seeing through social media and everything, there was no real telltale signs. Maybe the family knew more, but definitely what was provided to the public by way of their social media appears, for all intents and purposes, that their relationship seemed normal. The one oddity that I saw is there was a very limited family photos of the woman, Maddi, Adam with the two kids. We saw some photos with Adam and the two kids. We saw some photos with Maddi and the two kids, but we saw very limited photos with Maddi, the two kids, and their dad. On her social media profile, you're not seeing where she's saying she's engaged or in a relationship with, or any types of indicators that they were in a relationship. There was none on either side. So it is that to me seems odd. In this world of social media, she was 26 years old, so she's from the younger generation, which are heavily saturated in a lot of the social media and social media platforms. There's a lot of stuff going on LinkedIn. When I first signed up for LinkedIn, you could really only update your resume and look for jobs. There was, now they have this whole world and culture that I never knew, that people communicate in chats and have conversations about their profession. And I didn't know any of that existed on LinkedIn until just yesterday, when I was doing a mess of research in this case to find out who these people are, what had happened. Was there any, I always say before something like this, there's some kind of life change, and there's just a spinning of events that almost spin out of control right before somebody is killed or disappears. And you once you find out where that spin is coming, where somebody's life is kind of spinning out of control or things are happening, that's usually the person I'll start focusing in on. Like with Don Wells, a lot of stuff prior to Summer Wells disappearing started spinning out of control for him and his wife. Just spinning out of control. And then boom, Summer Wells is gone. So I have a funny feeling we're going to find out through more information from law enforcement, more people coming out to speak out. We're probably going to find out that this relationship between her and the kid's father was souring. He looked kind of like I don't know. She's this, moving up in the world. She's working in fields where she's around much smarter people. Maybe they were having a souring of the relationship. Maybe she wanted more. Maybe she started getting comfortable and really liking somebody like a doctor or maybe another clinical researcher. And maybe she was just done with a dysfunctional relationship and wanted out. And maybe she had just spoken to him about how she's, tired and would like a divorce and, would like to move on with her life. And maybe that upset him because she was a beautiful, talented woman. And he seemed like, even though he had good jobs, he seemed like he wasn't her caliber. He wasn't, it seems like she was the breadwinner. And sometimes that can play a toll on a relationship, not because the woman's making more money than him. It's that the man feels emasculated and starts resenting the woman for making more money, and then starts in the household, putting her down and making her feel less than because he feels less than. I've seen it 1,000 times. I have literally seen it 1,000 times. So I do believe there was some type of family dynamic there. And I think that her and the husband or the boyfriend or the significant other, whoever Adam is to her, maybe it's just a baby daddy, or baby's daddy, because it sounds like both the kids came from him. So with that being said, I don't know really what is going on with this case. I just know that it appears that law enforcement has their eyes on the significant other, the children's fathers. And these children are beautiful guys. They are gorgeous children. And to think that, and yet another case where the mom's gone, dad's in jail, and children now have to be raised by family. And I believe it'll be family that raises them. It seems like they have a tight-knit family. They're not going to let those children ever go to foster care or be adopted by somebody other than their family. You're welcome, Jesse Lynn. I know there were some people that had reached out to me about this case. And so, and one sent a link. I can't remember if it was Sword or Spirit or Susie Sue. I can't remember who, maybe it was both. I can't remember. Somebody sparked me to look at this, and I watched a video on it. And when I watched the video on it, of course, naturally, I'm curious now. Now I'm looking into Truth Finder. I'm looking at who's their family. Where do they come from? Where are they going? What are their backgrounds? Do they have any criminal past? Believe it or not, this is crazy, and it's starting. This is starting to be a theme too that I'm noticing. People that have no criminal history, upstanding people. First crime, murder. Yes. Never been in trouble in the law before a day in their life, and the first charge they get is murder. There is an uptick in that for sure. I think we've said that on how many cases this last year? Are you kidding me? This is the first. Brian Koberger, right? Alec Murdaugh. First problem with the law ever in their entire life, murder. This guy's no different. Believe it or not, Maddi had a ding on her. Adam did not, right? What was Maddi's for? It was stupid. I mean, I give it was stupid, but it was dangerous what she did. It was very dangerous what she did. She was driving like 19 miles over the speed limit, and it required her to go to traffic court because once you're over 15 miles, you're no longer getting a ticket. Anything 15 miles and above, you have to make a court appearance. So she was 19 miles. She was doing 49 and a 30. So it was dangerous. It was dangerous. And granted, not the worst thing that could possibly happen, but she could have killed somebody at that mile, at that speed. So I'm double fisting coffee today. I got the hot and the cold going. It's a perfect combination too. Perfect combination. Oh, so good. So good. Thank you. Whoever did this, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. No, Alec was already in trouble over the money. Right. But not at the time of the killing. He had not gotten in trouble for the money. Like he had not been criminally charged. I'm not saying these people didn't commit acts. I'm saying the first charge that they received typically in many cases, like here recently, has been murder. Like they jump over, the burglaries, they jump over the carjackings, they jump over the batteries, they jump over all this stuff and go right into murder. And I just don't believe that. It makes me wonder how much stuff went behind these closed doors that Maddie never talked about and never called law enforcement, that when maybe she should. Like, I was talking to Marissa yesterday, and we were talking about, she was telling me how somebody followed her to her mother's funeral. And I said, I don't play. I said, if I catch somebody following me, I call the cops. Because this is a crazy world out there. I said, you should have called the cops. She's like, I know it was at my mother's funeral. I said, but what if you walked out of that funeral and that person shot you? So this is dangerous. And, people do not have a right to, unless you have a PI license, you do not have a right to follow somebody. That is considered stalking without the proper licensures. I have never followed anybody. I'm supposed to meet somebody, they weren't there. I call around, I meet somebody to tell me where they were, but following them, no. No. How are we doing on Kick? We got 27 viewers on Kick this morning. Well, thank you all. I don't know if you guys, I see a lot of faces, so I just want to give my Kick family a big shout out this morning. Those that are supporting Bullhorn Betty, DL, Vape King in the house, the unique, what is it? The Unquiet Grave. Oh, wow. That's spooky. I love it. I love it. Search for the Missing. I love it. Channel Mel. Falling Angel. Love it. Love it. Joyce in the house. Melly Joe's in the house. Over in Kick. TG, nice to see you this morning. Happy Easter to you, love. We got Miss Potty Mouth in the house. Just Mimi, hey. Nice to see you. Good morning, Betty. Miss Potty Mouth says. We got some dancing cats up in the house with Just Mimi. It's you guys got it popping over here. You guys are just having a good old time. Sneaking over. They snuck Jennifer L. now over there. It's nice to see you. They snuck out of the YouTube house and into the Kick.com house and just over there having a good old time playing with emojis and dancing around. And Lordy, what did I create? I'm just joking. You guys are amazing. I just want to tell you all, thank you so much for supporting the new channel. I just want to get it monetized to see what it will do to help this channel. If it's a good app, then we will definitely incorporate it. I'd like to, eventually we're going to be getting on the whole, the level where we're going to be streaming literally on 30 or 40 platforms at once in the near future. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. We can get out much further to our audience and find new people that like true crime. So this is a case that's really interesting to me, but we've already got 2 cases on the roster, but I actually might consider going to Minnesota just to get a lay of the land. I'm not sure how that's going to end up working, but this is a very interesting case for me. It's got my attention. When I heard about it, I jumped right in and started researching. Let me pull up my my screen and we'll go over some of that research that was done yesterday in preparation of this. I mean, you're talking about hours of work. So, obviously, let's see when this one is. So, obviously I didn't know who Adam was at first. I just started researching, the Winona Police Department and seeing what they have. So I wanted to go over the statements. We'll go back to Adam, but it wasn't in order. I thought I put it all in order, but clearly I did not. So I just want to go through all the statements and how this case has transpired. And here's the areas that they're looking for. We're going to go over those as well. But I kind of want to go to the beginning of this and start reading the press releases on this page related to her, because I think you'll be able to see how this is walked through. So this is really the first report that I see on their website, and it was the very next day. So we know that law enforcement was called out in the afternoon of March 31st. So by later afternoon, the next day, April 1st, they are now providing the report number. They are now starting to the people in their community that they have a missing person. So this is really the first indication that this woman, Maddie Kingsbury, is missing. And they have this photo for a nice photo. It does show her face very clear. She's a very beautiful young lady. And they say that Winona Police Department is seeking any assistance in locating Madeline Jane Kingsbury. Madeline has not been seen since early morning on the 31st. So it was the day before. If you have any information in regards to her whereabouts, you're asked to call Winona Police Department at 507-457-6492. And they also have a Crime Stoppers website and phone number if you would like to remain anonymous in your reporting. They just need all the information. So then we started seeing some more stuff coming out from the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension related to her case 6 days ago. It was updated on April 3rd. So let me just go ahead and just put out more. We'll just read it here. Endangered missing person alert. The Winona Police Department is requesting the public's assistance in locating Madeline Jane Kingsbury, 26. She was last seen the morning of March 31st and has not had any contact with friends or family since. Kingsbury is 5 feet 4 inches tall, so she's only about 2.5 inches taller than me. Weighs 135 pounds, so she's about 15 pounds lighter than me, and has brown hair and hazel eyes. Winona Police Department and Minnesota Bureau of Crime Apprehension are actively reviewing and following up on any information obtained during the ongoing investigation. And of course, they say if you have any information, call the 507 phone number. So it looks like that they have some cats that were found. But then here's the next press release on this matter. And this came out 5 days ago. I'm not sure exactly. I wish these press releases would have a date on them, which really sucks because it gives us an idea. But they're just basically going over the information that we've already known about, stating that they've had numerous calls, messages from family and friends that went unanswered. So she's not answering the phone. And then we've come to find out, like I said in my earlier reporting, that the phone was found inside the home along with her phone, her keys, her wallet, and her jacket. In that first report, it only said phone and wallet, but in a subsequent report from another news outlet, it did say that her jacket and her keys were also there. The keys I may be mistaken that with another tidbit of information or a different case. I was reviewing 3 different cases. So I definitely know the for fact, it's the wallet, the phone, and the jacket. But I'm pretty sure I read keys as well. But I don't want to say that and it not be accurate. Investigators have been canvassing the neighborhood and searching the area and attempting to collect video surveillance. Recent developments led investigators to believe that the van matching the description of Kingsbury's was last seen traveling from Winona to the eastern part of Fillmore County during the day of March 31st. So he's actually going very, very far away. We're going to look at the Google map. As you can see, Google Maps is right here. So we're going to be, this is where we're going to show you this whole Fillmore to Winona and where he may have traveled. They've got several, going to the next slide, they got several places that they would like to focus. So anybody that's in these areas of Minnesota, near the Wisconsin, Minnesota, Mississippi River area, this is an area that they think that they will have good, they need information. So if you have cameras, you have still photos, you had dashboard cameras, CCTV footage in this area, they're asking you to turn that in. If you've seen a dark colored minivan, a Town and Country dark blue in this area, they're asking you to call in. If you've seen somebody that was acting strange or out of the ordinary in this area, police are asking you to call in that lead or the tip. Sorry. And here's another one right there. And this is the airport. So they believe that it's possible that somebody may have went to the airport or the surrounding area of the airport, which is bordering the Mississippi River on the Minnesota side of the state. And then they're looking at 43 and 90. And we're going to start looking at some of this stuff as well. Actually, I'll just show you up here while we got it open. So there you are. There is their home. I pinned their home here. This is the direction that they believe, because this is Fillmore. This is somebody said that they saw a car heading toward Fillmore. We just heard about US 91. Here is US 91. So it seems to me that they believe that Adam left the home, got on 90, and somewhere started heading toward Fillmore on these roads. This over here is also another sighting of the van that people have called in at State Road 43 and County Road 12. They believe that there was a possible van sighting, a dark color town and country in this area here. I didn't mark it because outside of one small report, I didn't know where that played in on this map. But we do have it. We do have where we are, putting the pins into the map. So as information comes out, we will be pinning it to the map for use later. But this, does appear like he went out of his way a little bit, quite a little bit, from their home. Now, if we were to go to their home, see if I can do this. So I open this up. See if I can get this. I want to give you a view of their home. Why is it doing that? I hate when it does that. So frustrating. I'm just trying to get this to drag down. Give me just a second. I got to put my coffee down and apparently hold this while I drag it. There we go. Now we can kind of. So even their home. So this is the area. But even their home, there's a main road, a main road there and a main road there. So they're on a crossroad in there. But look at this. We got a pond directly, the Gilmore Creek directly across. Well, this is the creek here, but I don't know what this body of water is. But this is Gilmore Valley. And there's definitely something there. I don't know what kind of retention pond this is, if this is for the chemical plant. We have some down here in the lower corner here, we have like buildings and stuff. So it seems like it's some kind of plant. But definitely stuff around here. But they have a lot of houses around. So this is really, outside of this plant or whatever, this body of water and this Gilmore Creek, there's not a whole lot of places in and around their community that seem like it would be conducive for making someone disappear. So he would have had to leave this area. He would have had to find some place. So I don't know if Fillmore has some kind of special meaning for him, because we know that people usually go to dispose of something that they don't want people knowing they're disposing of in places that they're comfortable doing that kind of stuff in. So again, lots of stuff going on in this case, but I wanted to give you an update on that. So those are the areas that they're looking at for more information. And this is basically what it says. It says, in regard to the missing persons of Maddi, the Winona Police Department is requesting assistance from residents and land owners located in the city of Winona, Wilson Township, Hillsdale Township, and are asking you to search your acreages, wooded properties, outbuildings, vehicles, and trails for anything suspicious that may help find Maddi. See the map area pictures below. So they're asking the people in these areas to look at everything. They believe she is there. They also have a Facebook website out for those that would like to follow this case, get information on this case and or what have you. It appears that they have a search party. The search party is for today. Nope, it was for yesterday. So they did another search party yesterday for her. and it just goes on about some information related to her case. Let me see the post. Sorry, I gotta. So to her case, they're updating the people on their website. They've already amassed quite a bit of following. I signed up and started following at 10,000. So since last night, since yesterday afternoon at 7 p.m., they have already gained an additional 1,000 followers to help find Maddie Kingsbury. The family also has a fundraiser going on GoFundMe. They're trying to raise $20,000 to help the family with search efforts. They've already raised $15,000 on the GoFundMe page for Maddie. So if that's something that is, you'd like to help, maybe contribute a couple bucks, $1, $2, $5. If you feel like you want to support this, there it is. Let me go ahead and get this, and I'll throw it give me just a second, guys. I'll have to throw it in here. I'll throw it in here. There we go. Hopefully it takes. No, I don't want to leave. All right, then we'll go back over here. So they've really been, they have received a lot of their goal. They are just shy of $5,000 of reaching their goal. And again, this what it says here is Maddie has been missing for a week now. There's no words of comfort to help this poor family or friends. There are so many traveling from all over to help search. The family is staying in hotels. The best way you can help is by contributing. Please, if you can, anything would help. All help and all the prayers you have. Thanks so much. So they're also asking for prayers, guys, for those that are tight, which we have a lot of people that are tight. We live paycheck to paycheck. Sometimes some of us can't hardly afford our medications. What you can do is pray for them, right? You can do your part, and your part would be praying for them. So it's just a sad story. She's young, she's beautiful, she's so smart. She had the most amazing, she had the most amazing job. She's working at the Mayo Clinic. Sounds like she's on the right course for her life. Sounds like somebody, not like Bullhorn Betty. When I was 26 years old, I didn't have an idea of what I wanted to do in life. I had an AA and paralegal studies, but I didn't know where I wanted to go or what I wanted to do. So I just worked for attorneys until I figured it out. Obviously, I'm not working for attorneys anymore. She had an idea for her life. She put it in motion. She worked really hard. She graduated school. She was starting her life. She thought her life was great. She had this man. She had 2 children. Her life was good. She thought she was obviously doing everything right, at least for our thoughts, right? When we hear about this story and stuff, it seems like she's doing everything right. So I started going in here to see if I can get public records requests and stuff like that. And I've just really been kind of hitting a wall at getting these. It looks like I'm just going to physically have to go to the area in Winona and get these records directly by phone call or email. There's no request online is what I'm trying to say. So I'm just here doing some follow-up. We've already talked about most of this stuff related to Trent. So I'm not going to really go over the stuff with Trent too much more, because we are going to go out there. We're going to get a good idea of what's going on within 24 hours of me pulling up. Usually within 24 hours of me pulling up in any community, I have a good understanding of the people. I've got a good understanding of the political leanings, the politics that go on in that community. Typically, I start filing record requests to see what kind of finances and financial problems or lack thereof they have. Maybe they're doing great. I do stuff to see, are they doing things that I wouldn't, that if they're, that their community knew they were doing, would be frowned upon. Those are things I look. So I do a lot of public records, not just for the crimes themselves, but for the community. So I'm getting budgets, I'm getting minutes, I'm getting other things just to get an idea of who the community members are, who are the people that are the decision makers in that community. And, how do we get to this point where law enforcement is allowing, kids from upper tier families be able to lay in their bed for days. And here's what I hear: a lot of these articles saying from a lot of these moms out there, and the echoing is, if these were Black kids, they would be in jail right now. And if that's the case, I frown upon that a lot, because I truly believe our justice system should be fair and equal to all. I believe that wholeheartedly. And if I'm finding out, like when we went into Chatham County, people told me that people get arrested and pulled over for walking down the streets. I told them there is no way in hell I would believe that. Guess what? I saw it with my own eyes. I saw it with my own eyes. So what they were telling me when I walked into town that I blew off was absolutely true. And I'm hearing from these community members that, they're having to apply pressure every time they have a murder investigation or something where somebody almost died. They're having to pressure the hell out of the police department just to make an arrest in any case, especially when white people are involved. And in this case, it was a white boy and white kids that are the victim and the perpetrators. However, the white kids have rich parents. Maybe some parents that donated to some of these politicians' reelection fees. Maybe we need to look into the campaign finances of some of these politicians. I want to know why nobody's been arrested in this case, and why these beautiful souls that are standing up for this boy because their family member was killed and the police didn't want to do anything about it because it was a bunch of white guys. I got a problem with that. So we'll see what's going on there. We'll go in there. I don't like the racist. I don't like using racism. I don't like using color as a standing point. But if it's true, I mean, like I said, we heard that Chatham County, you can't walk down the road without being pulled over. We heard that in Chatham County, and I did not believe it until I saw it with my own eyes. We're hearing in Glynn County that they don't like arresting white people. Now, I don't know if that's true. I pray to God that's not true. But we'll find out, right? The community will stand up and talk. The community seems like they don't have a problem speaking up for victims. Thank God. Bullhorn Betty didn't need to be there. They can't blame that beautiful protest they did in Trent's honor had anything to do with Bullhorn Betty. No, it didn't. They did that all by themselves. It was beautiful. Those women don't play. And they were wearing the same vest I got, except mine got Bullhorn Betty. You can go tell those beautiful ladies, they don't have to worry. I already match. You can tell them they don't even have to worry. Look at that. I already match them. Right? Look at that. That's the same stuff they were wearing down the street with their bullhorn. Now, granted, my bullhorn's going to be bedazzled. I might blind you when I'm out there in the sun. Right? But we already match it. I've already got a crew down there. They just don't even know it yet. They don't even know it yet. So we're going to go down there and see what we can do. Again, a lot of the stuff I'm saying is I'm hoping, I can honestly say I'm hoping I'm not going to find. I'm hoping it's rumors. There are some things that we do get in that are rumors. It's because people have had, not good experiences or something like that with law enforcement. So they're going to be talking from their experience, that it took us, rising up to get any justice for my nephew. They weren't even going to arrest the boys that drug him to his death. Good. Thank you, by the way. So he's gone. He's a roach. It doesn't matter. It's just somebody seeking attention, wanting attention. The funny thing is I didn't even see anything. I guess you guys nailed them before I even saw comments. So that's good. I know. God don't like ugly, so those roaches need to stay away. Absolutely. I would play a couple of my videos, but one, we're not on StreamYard where the videos are housed. And two, it's Easter. So in the true fashion of Easter, I'm going to refrain from using swear words on the channel today. If I've accidentally said a swear word this morning, I apologize. Pray for me. But I try. You know what? It's progress, not perfection, right? It's progress, not perfection. That's what we strive here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. We know nobody's perfect. So we don't ask for perfection, but we do ask for progress. We ask you to be a little bit better than you were the day before, right? If you didn't make your bed yesterday, make your bed today. I'm having a hard time with the mopping, okay? I hate mopping. So I bought myself a new mop. I'm thinking, okay, if I buy myself a new mop and a new gadget, it'll be fun for me, right? And I love this mop bucket. It took me a little minute, okay? It took me a little minute to get it working right. Because it's one of those, you know, it's the spin one, right? I saw this on, everybody's talking about this mop bucket. Now I have one of those old like school type mop buckets. You know what I'm talking about? The one on the wheels with the little, you know, and the big wooden mop that you just like, it's a school mop. I got a school mop. So anyways, the thing is it's so big for this little house. It was perfect for my last house. My last house was more open. This house, not so much. So it spent more time outside than it has inside. I mean, I think even the mop head's like rusting off of it. So I'm like, I'm so sick of, you know, monkeying around with this huge mop bucket. So I decided to get one of those mop buckets, the smaller one. So I'm looking around. It's like, you know, what do I hate? Okay, I think about what do I hate about mop buckets? Okay, I hate the fact that you have to lift them up. You have to lift them up and drag them all over the house. So I'm looking for something on wheels. Okay. So then I'm like, okay, well, kind of mop, but there's so many different varieties. Like I'm old school. You get one of the sponge mops, or you get one with the cotton, you know, thing that goes out about a foot from the handle, right? I'm old school. Those are the two types of mops I grew up on. Well, now they have microfiber. They've got nylon. They've got I don't even remember how many ungodly different types of mop heads you could possibly invest in to clean your home. Like I have never in my life seen so many options. This is the problem with the world today. We have entirely too many options. Life was so much more simpler when you had, you know, good, better, and best, right? The stores had three kinds. It was either good, better, or best. The prices went along with the rating, like good, better, and best, right? Now you have like 300 different types of freaking mops on the internet. So now what kind of mop am I going to get? Okay. So let me just fast forward. So I got the one that pumps, like it spins. Like, so you have a mop bucket. It's got a little handle on it. It's got, you know, big wheels in the back. And it's got a like microfiber. It feels like a cotton ball. It's so soft. It's like a cotton ball on the end of this mop, right? So you have to pull this little lever on it, and so you're pumping it, right? You're pumping it to get the water in it, right? And then you put it up in the drain, and you pump it some more to get the water out. And so you're apparently all this work. I don't know if it's supposed to be for an upper body workout or not, but I'm kind of liking the mop. I'm doing a 2-in-1. I'm getting my workout done. Plus, I'm getting the floors clean. I think it's a win-win. Now, when you're watching me mop the floors, you might actually be surprised that I'm not churning butter. I promise you, there is no butter coming out of this mop bucket. Okay, just dirty water. But it sure looks like I'm churning some butter. And I'm in there. I'm like, did I get it all? Did I get the bristles clean? Oh, Did all the water come out? Did all the water come out? Let me do it a little bit more. Let me make sure all the water comes out. Oh, Lord. But the house smells fresh. I had to get in there. I'm still not done moving. I got to tell you, some of that crap in that office is freaking heavy. And I was going to move it. I mopped the areas to move everything from one side of the room to the other. So we'll have a nice, clean, blank slate behind me. And then I'm like, okay, so that means I'm going to have to go all the way out to the back end of the yard. And I got to try to find to see if my husband, my ex-husband, left me a dolly. I don't know. And no, I'm not talking about dolly vision. I'm talking about a legit dolly, okay? I don't think Dolly's in the backyard hiding behind the barn, okay? I really don't. I don't. So let's not start those rumors out there, okay? Let's not start those rumors out there. All right, I'm talking about a legit dolly, not dolly vision. Not that he's not legit, but I'm talking about something that'll actually help me move something heavy. And we know Dolly is too stoned to bother even moving himself, let alone a piece of heavy furniture. So trust me, I'm not talking about Dolly. I'm actually talking about a dolly and not Dolly Parton. So I just need to get out there, and I don't even know if there's a dolly out there. I don't know if the tires have air in them. And no, I'm not talking about Dolly's brain. All right, haters, knock it off. Knock it off. Okay. We know Dolly has at least an acorn rolling around there. Okay, let's be honest. Every day it goes like this, we can hear it. I need to stop. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm looking for the wrong type of dolly, right? Maybe I'm looking for the wrong type of dolly. Maybe I do need a dolly here. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe I need a dolly here, and I need to put that dolly to work. So if you see dolly vision on the streets of YouTube, tell them SOS. SOS. Tell them Bullhorn Betty is screaming SOS. She needs a dolly. She needs a dolly with wheels. Tell him to attach some wheels on him and come over and help me finish this office. I'm just joking. Happy Easter to you, love bug. Happy Easter to you. You are so sweet. You guys have been amazing this morning. You surely have. So that's what I need. And I actually, believe it or not, I have the little sliding discs. You can pop up. Allie says a dolly with a dolly. A dolly with a dolly. Actually, it's dolly with a dolly. I just thought that was funny. I wasn't expecting it to roll that way. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't expecting to roll that way. That's funny. That's funny. But and no pun intended. Really, no pun intended. I don't have a script here. I promise that wasn't on the panel. Or on the piece of paper. The only thing I got on the piece of paper is all the data and information about the case I'm covering. That's all I got. That's all I got. Right. So, anyways. That's what I was doing yesterday. So I was mopping the office, and there's so much stuff there. Like I even have the press machines there, that big printer. And so I think I'm going to put the little desk where I had the big desk. I'm going to put the big desk where I had the little desk, and I'm going to move everything from behind it. But I don't know if that's going to work. We're going to see, because I still want to put the green screens up. I still have the green screens that we have from the donations, from the donors that sent them here. And I've used them like 1 or 2 times, but I haven't been able to use them since. So I want to start getting more use out of them, doing something more creative behind me. So I'm actually starting to learn the OBS system. It's very difficult. I'm already not really liking it, but I figured if we can at least set it up, maybe we can start really kind of stepping up the channel and stuff. So, and that may change too. I don't know if I'm going to have to convert to Restream. Restream's a little different than what I'm accustomed to with StreamYard, but it's similar. So I'm able to at least, still go do the business that we need to do. And we're doing Kick. So hopefully today, we got 37 people already over in Kick, just kind of hanging out. having fun with. Apparently they got some animated emojis over there that everybody is just going crazy over, and they're playing. I think we got 3 monkeys dancing from Just Mimi right now. It's every time I go over there, they're killing me with their dancing emojis. They're freaking hilarious. They're hilarious. So guys, that's really all I have for today. I really don't have a whole lot. We could go into Trent Laircamp's information a little more, but quite frankly, I'm really not wanting people to see the direction I'm going with this case just yet. Again, I've got multiple record requests in. I've got to start doing some record requests for the city council as well as the county, just to kind of see what kind of condition this area is in, see if I see any, things that are just out of the ordinary, something that smells like corruption in the county. I think a lot of people, broadly use corruption without understanding the true definition of corruption, kind of like they say, me harassing people when it's not harassing. It's, when I go out there and establish a protest, which that's what I establish. And when I do protest, it's classified as a protest. It's not harassment under the eyes of the law. So I just want to make sure, that people are saying corruption. Is it true corruption, or is it just their opinion that it's corruption? And a lot of the times we do find that it's mostly the opinions, but we know without a doubt, if we look at any community, any county, city, whatever, we are going to uncover unsavory things. Okay. It's not, to me at this point in my my career, it's not shocking. I know it happens just about every place we go, but the problem is, as they always try to tell their community, that it's not happening. So it's just a little more pressure that we can provide, and on people that are not doing their jobs well. It's just another thing that just doesn't make them look good, that just kind of adds to this. And when you start, and when you have a community that's a little embarrassed or something like that, you see a tendency of them actually trying to repent for that, or trying to turn over the right leaf and do the right thing. And we want to promote that. We want to promote community leaders doing the right things for their citizens in their community. We promote that. And when we go into communities that we see that happening in, we are there, like Moscow and Fruitland. You never saw us ever go after law enforcement in either one of those communities, and here's why: they were doing everything humanly possible to get to the result. Neither one of these cases are completed yet. One case has the person in mind and arrested for it. The other one has the people they believe is involved in jail, mind you, just on other unrelated charges. That's what we expect from law enforcement. You can't get them on this charge. Find a charge to put their butts behind bars and charge them with that. You can add charges later. This idea, we have to have this beautiful thing wrapped in a bow and I's dotted and T's crossed. If you have proof that that child jaywalked, you get their butt in for jaywalking. Let them bond out. You do something. You just don't give them a pass until you have the slam dunk you need. If they committed a crime and you can charge them with a crime that you have evidence for, charge them with that crime. And guess what? If through your investigation, you find an additional crime has been committed, you arrest them and charge them for that crime. Or you arrest them and have the state attorney bring the other crimes. Whichever you prefer. We don't care. We just want these people in jail. This boy deserves justice, and we don't really care. I can tell you, me personally, I don't care what the net worth of his parents are. They're not putting money into my campaign. I could care less if it sullies a family's name. If the shoe was on the other foot and one of my family members did something horrible to another person and my name was sullied because of it, it is what it is. That should not be the worry of law enforcement or anybody. It's not your problem. It's not your problem. What your problem is you got a person that almost died. You got all the information that you could possibly have. Charge them. Charge them. What can you charge them for today? Issue the warrants. issue the warrants. That's what we want. So with that, guys, I want you to have a wonderful and beautiful Easter. Remember, tomorrow is not promised. If you're seeing your college kids, if your college kids are coming home from Easter, remember to hold them tight. You never know what they're going through in their school. And trust me, there's a lot they're not telling you. There's probably a lot you don't want to know either. So don't cry. Don't cry too much. But let them know you're there. Let them know you love them. And let them know that you'll be there for them no matter what they're going through in college. And if they ever need a shoulder, you're always there. Because kids need to hear that. They need to be reassured sometimes. Even our adult kids, right? They need to be reassured that mom or dad's always there, right? All right, guys. Well, you guys, peace out. I wish I had some exit music and some intro music, but I don't have either on this channel. And I'm not going to set it up until I know I'm going to be here because it takes a lot of time to do that kind of stuff, right? So we might end up changing our theme to the one that I've got saved on this computer that I did, the one that I do my videos with. Everybody screams, "Oh, it's so long." Well, then don't watch. If you don't like my intro, wait a few minutes. I'm not going to change me to fit you. You're over here in my house, not the other way around. Not the other way around. Is this pre-recorded? No. Why would I pre-record? When have I ever pre-recorded anything? I do videos and I do lives. No, it's live. Yeah, I do videos and I do lives. If you see a live up there in the corner, most likely I'm live. Probably because I said I wasn't going to go live today. But see, the problem is, or the good news is somebody decided to send me Dunkin' Donuts at 6 o'clock this morning. Thank God I was up. I'm just joking. If somebody, whoever sent this knows my schedule, because everybody knows I'm up. I'm up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, religiously. Actually, this morning, I was up at 3:45. So I've been up for a real, by the time I go live, I've already been up literally for hours. Can you believe? Just in 3 hours, I was able to plan my entire trip in Glenn County. 3 hours. It took me 3 hours to plan my entire trip. Now, there's still a few things. I'm still reading. There may be some other places I'm going to stop and go to and see. But it took me about 3 hours. I've already got my map set for where I'm going. I've already got the backpack set. I haven't packed up the computer yet. I haven't packed up all the electronics just yet, or my gear. But we actually may end up going to Minnesota. Like, we got this trip, we got Georgia, then we're coming back to Florida. And I've got to come back to Florida. I got to help my bestie out next weekend. So I have to be here. But I actually might turn around and leave next weekend or after next week if Trent's case has nobody arrested. I may plan a more extensive trip to Glenn County where I can stay there for a couple weeks and really hone in on the case and figure out what steps I need to take, for me, strategy-wise, on how I'm going to present this case to my audience and where we go from here. It sounds like we already have a lot of great people out there that have been protesting regularly for this young man. So it'll be easy for me just to kind of follow suit with them. And happy to do so and happy to bring awareness. I would love to sit down and talk to some of those protesters and just really understand, this is a person that they don't know. And just really get behind, behind the scenes view as to what brought them here, what made them activists in this respect. Obviously they have a connection with him. They've been in a similar situation and they're here to do it out of love. So it's beautiful. And I would really love to meet them, give them a hug and thank them for their service in this matter, because, it takes certain types of people to do that. And seeing certain types of people do that, I want to give them a hug and I want to tell them thank you. So hopefully I get an opportunity to meet those beautiful ladies and just get a chance to speak with them. But we'll be out there soon, and we'll be going to the four in Marion County, the three in Marion County. Rather, it was a total of six. Three assailants and three victims. They still haven't identified the boy. I find that odd, don't you guys? Why is the boy, the two girls have been identified? Why are they not identifying the boy that they were with that was also found dead? I'd like to know his identity. So we're very concerned about that. But we'll get there. We'll find it. I already know that me and the sheriff in Marion County are BFFs. So I'm not even worried about it. Me and the sheriff in Marion County are BFFs. I can tell you that man don't play. He's my kind of sheriff. He got these people in jail lickety split. Maybe Glenn County could take, a lesson from my sheriffs here in Florida on how to properly protect your citizens and what law and order truly means. And it doesn't mean, is this guy going to be my donor in my next election? We don't worry about stuff like that here in Florida. Maybe some people do, but I tell you, any community I go in and advocate in, that doesn't happen. So we'll be there. And I hope you guys will be there as well. I will be live when I get out there. You'll be able to see what goes on. I will be going, looking around. We've got several stops we're going to make. It's going to be a really, hopefully thorough understanding of what really transpired out there. And we're going to bring in some information. I'm hoping that I get some people to talk about this case or talk about why they are involved and why they are trying to help Trent. But we're going to have some good stuff coming up. I hope you guys stay with me while we go to Georgia. We'll see you in Georgia really soon. And then after that, we're going to go down and take and figure out what happened to these three children. Again, I already know that me and the sheriff are going to be BFFs. Really applaud him for his work. Really applaud him for standing up and speaking the truth and the facts, whether people like to hear it or not. I applaud him for that. I applaud him for finding these animals in record time. I applaud him for his and his men's and all the people that came out there to help these three victims in Marion County, Florida. I applaud all of their work. It was hard work. They did it beyond expectation. They did it in record timing. They had the assailants behind bars. They're actively looking for the final and last one. And this will never replace those lives that were lost. The families are grieving. The families are in pain, all because of something so stupid and so petty. And one of the assailants only 12 years old. It makes me sick. It makes me sick. But we'll have all that coming up to you. And guess what? The people on the Bullhorn Betty channel get the front row view as to what's going on at these crime scenes and abroad as we advocate for victims and victims' rights. God bless you. Everybody, don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until I see you next time, be safe and kind to one another. God bless. And happy Easter! Yay! Okay.